Comrades, Commissar Bro here today with Making History 2, War of the World. That's right. Now, just to go ahead and give you guys a heads up with this game, this, of all the Making History games, is the one that I have played the least. That's right. I wasn't really a super big fan of it when I first played it, but, you know, I'm giving it another try, I'm giving it another go, and we'll see if I can enjoy it. You know, I have put time into it. It's not like I haven't played the game. I have played it. It's just, its systems are kind of interesting and, even to a degree, not as smooth and, let's just say, elegant as Making History Calm the Storm Gold, or even Making History The Great War. But I mean, it's still an interesting game with interesting stuff going on for it. So yeah, we're gonna give it a try, and we're gonna see how I like it. Anyway, as you can see, we are playing with sweet Japan, the Japanese Empire, and we are ready for war. Not really. We're not ready for war at all. We are like the complete opposite of ready for war. Basically, the way this game works, if I'm remembering it correctly, is, as you can see, you've got resources. They're denoted right there on the map, and I love how clean and clear all this is, though. Now that's pretty good. But you can see, like, here we have a coal mine. Essentially, we can add a coal mine to it to basically be producing more coal. And from there, you can do like coal exploration if you run out of coal. Like, you have a certain amount of slots to take up with coal, and if it gets maxed out, you use coal exploration to find more coal. Pretty basic, pretty basic. Now, you've also got food. So essentially, you build more farms to have more food. Again, it all is pretty simple. And for the most part, you can almost abuse it as long as you have the resources to do it. However, as you can see, like, a plantation costs 100 manpower and 75 coal. While the coal isn't that big of a deal, the amount of manpower that it takes to produce that food is a big deal. So, what we could do, as long as we're willing to spend more time, is we could build enclosed farms rather than the plantation. So basically, for an additional, or for less than 5 turns, you know, you only get 15 per turn, but you can build 2 of these for less than what it would cost you to build a plantation. As a matter of fact, you could build 3 of them and be producing almost twice as much food for half the resource cost, but almost 3 times the amount of time to build all the farms. So what we could do is we could spread out our enclosed farms over a couple of different areas, still spending the same amount of coal and the same amount of manpower to do it, but now it'll all be done in 15 turns, and we'll be producing 3 times as much food, as you can see. So, well, I guess what else should we talk about? Well, I guess we could talk about transportation. Infrastructure in this game is pretty simple. You basically have various different things, railroads, roadways. I think there's another one too, like, it's just like plain dirt roads if it doesn't have anything at all. And I don't see it. There we go. Yeah, see, there it is right down there if you look here where the mouse is. Unpaved roads, movement modifier 25%. So, basically, what you can do is you can build railroads and paved highways, and they increase the speed of units moving through. And I think that if you get technology further on down the line, let's see, well, actually, I'd be sitting here staring at this all day trying to figure this out. But as you can see, the tech tree is pretty simple. It shows you what you get. You can hover over it, and it'll give you more specifics towards it, what needs to be done, so on and so forth. Yep. That's pretty much it. As you can see, Japan's already pretty far down the line. But see, the line itself is actually very, very extensive, with the last thing being staged rockets, our ICBMs, for that matter. So yes, interesting, very, very interesting. Like I said, I think there's another transportation thing, and you can actually kind of sit here and look at it. But anyway, so that's the gist. And we're off that screen. And that's kind of the basics of what's going on with infrastructures, building stuff, and like coal mines and whatnot. So basically, you're building all that stuff to meet your resources up here. If you look up here, we've got arms, we've got metals, we've also got money over here, and coal, oil, and food. And these other ones would be manpower. This will be like industrial capacity. This is your research points, so basically how many points you get per turn from research, and obviously atomic bombs. Yeah, and this one's your stability. Yeah. So basically, the reason we're going to increase coal mines, build more coal mines and shit, is because we want more coal, or we want more metal. So it seems we need some metal mines. So I'm going to build a couple of those. Let's build 3. Oh, we can only build 2 metal mines. So it looks like we'll have to do some more metal exploration to be able to find some more stuff. Again, this all takes manpower. You have to be very, very careful with your manpower because there's actually limits in this game. Something that the other 2 games have, but it's a lot harder to reach manpower limits in those games, I think. But see, you get manpower a turn, so basically when I end my turn, which we'll go ahead and do now, boop, there we go. We got 68.59 new people. And our resources in other places are going down, but don't worry, I'm pretty sure once we start getting some of these coal mines up and running, we'll be good to go. That's right. So, in the meantime, let's take a look at our cities. In this game, cities can also build like stuff, more specific stuff. And again, I'm torn about which UI interface I like more in Making History 2 or The Great War. And by the way, I actually remember one of my biggest problems with this game wasn't necessarily the way the game played. It was the terrible, terrible stability issues and the incessant lagging as the game drew on. It started to lag really, really bad, and that's kind of what drove me insane about this game. So the fact that right now there's no lag, everything seems to be running just fine, makes me very happy. Yeah, so anyway, so let's take a look at industry, right? Well, actually, let's go with the armed forces first. So this is the land forces that we have currently. Not much, but as our technology gets better, we'll get more stuff. So like tanks and so on. Better artillery, better infantry. And then we have air forces, biplane fighters and bombers. Again, this is still very early. It's 1933 if you look down there. Alright, so naval forces. Of course, boats and shit. That's right. Now, industry is where the meat and the butter of your economy is occurring. So how I was explaining the foundations with resources, this is what you spend your resources on. Now, it's always good to have money because everything costs money, even if it doesn't show it on here, which I'm actually kind of surprised it doesn't. There you go. See, look, when we go into the encyclopedia, you can see that, like, horse artillery has a maintenance cost of $400,000 a turn. So the bigger your army, the more it's going to cost to field. However, and something actually I'm going to kind of talk about real quick. Sorry to get off track. But see, this is a lot of people ask me, what's the purpose of combined arms? This right here. So you have different attack damages, you have different hit points, and so on. Different values for different units. So let's compare this to an airborne infantry. Alright, see, 40% chance to hit in defense, 20% chance to hit and attack, air hit, blah, 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 attack damage. But it's got less attack damage than the artillery. So that's why. But anyway, back to industry. So, as I was saying, you need to generate money. If you start losing money, your army is going to become less stable, less effective. There's going to be a lot of negative drawbacks about not being able to make money. So you always want to keep positive bonus or positive cash flow in this game if you can. Now we're doing just fine on money right now because of the fact that pretty much all of our cities are producing something, you know, goods, wrought iron, petroleum, textiles, or appliances. So, and then there's other ones as you get more research, like automobiles and stuff like that. Now, each city has an IPU count, which you can see looking at this little box right here. You can also see the research point and the fleets in port and so on, and the fact that this is my capital. But anyway, so each city has an IPU count. The more IPUs you have, literally denoted by the number. It's denoted by number 1. So 1 IPU equals 1 piece of industrial output. The more you have, the faster you can build things, the faster you can field armies, build buildings, so on and so forth. So basically, you increase that IPU count by building cottage factories, mechanized factories, and so on and so forth. There's more factories. There's even there's one above this one. I think it gives you like a 25. I don't remember what it is. And even they added in later on in the game to where you can upgrade your old factories with this stuff, which I'm actually going to do. And we're going to cancel textile mills. So basically, you can decide to do massive industrialization early on in the game. Now, with Japan, I'm not so sure if I'm going to do that. I think with Japan, I'm going to focus on fixing my resource deficits first before I industrialize like that. As you can see, there's also further buildings down. The more you research, the more you go down, the more buildings you get, and the more benefits there are to having them. So yeah, that's just there. And Chemical Lab gives you more research projects, and so on. So that's kind of a basic overview of how the economy in this game works. Sorry if it was a little sloppy. It has been, I think, 3 or 4 years since I played this game. It's been a long time. So yeah, I'm still kind of looking into it and getting refreshed on it, but I hope that kind of helps out anybody who is interested in the game. You know, one other thing I will show now that I just clicked on it, I'm going to show you guys how research in this game works. So, you take a city, so like Tokyo, you click on this where it says no orders, that's the research tab, and it says no project. Alright, well, what kind of projects do we have? You can look at them right here, and it can tell you specifically what you need and what you'll get. Again, you can click on the encyclopedia if you need more information regarding it. And yeah. So this is kind of the basics of it. I tend to go for industrialization. Like mine mechanization is a big one to go for because it gives you much better mines to build. And plus it's 1933, so I'm not exactly concerned about going to war with anybody. So, well, we've set that we're researching mine mechanization. Now you can choose up here to go for different stuff, or alternatively, you can just funnel all your points into one thing. But let's say, well, I want to research farm mechanization and mine mechanization. Well, bam, there you go. I'm doing it right there. So basically 1 point per turn is being put into farm mechanizations and 2 points per turn are being put into mine mechanizations. Now to increase that research count, you build research centers. Pretty basic stuff. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro taking a first look at making history. Not really a first look, but taking a look at making history 2, War of the World. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope this has helped you playing the game. I'm actually going to do a short series on this game because although I've had bad experiences with it in the past, I would most certainly like to give it another chance because again, I love Muzzy Lane and I love the Making History series, and I know a lot of comrades are big fans of these games. So you know, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it'll turn out pretty well for us. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro, and I will see you next time.